Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and Slaughterville 3. Oh, it's a bit of a strange title, as it's only a villain expansion. Okay. Slaughterville. You know what? Recently I covered that Dead by Daylight Kickstarter that doesn't seem to have evolved much. That Windows 95 game where you jump in between windows. Yeah, calls itself a slasher game. But even if you play that game, it's so simple, like you're going to come away with not knowing, not a real story. If you want a real slasher game with a story that you're going to be talking about, this is the one. Slaughterville, absolutely, dear me. Now, if you don't not aware of Slaughterville, it is, you basically pick a monster or a slasher boss character and either solo or cooperatively go around locations trying to get stronger and face the boss. However, the longer it takes you to get stronger, the boss will start getting stronger too, and that makes the end game more exciting because it's highly thematic and it's absolutely fantastic to play, especially if you've got like horror music in the background. It's so spooky. And it's a game where you can expect to die and come back as another character during the same game. It can be very, very risky to move into places anyway, but I did an original Kickstarter on this second box that they did. Really, really good. I have it in my collection and I love it. It's a fantastic horror game at Halloween, of course. In fact, it's one of my recommended ones you should play at Halloween is this one. Because it's just throwing so much out there in case, basically your stories that's coming out. It's pretty vicious what can happen. And every time anyone that plays it gets fascinated to see what the other villains can do, because they were fascinated by the gameplay of the villains, because each villain has their own deck, of course, and they are going to be drawing from this deck and all this stuff. Anyhow, so the villains really kind of make the game special. There's already enough playable characters in the box, and it looks like we're getting these three characters here. The guy on the left is the Bee-Man. We've got this guy on the right. He's looking a little bit like Nosferatu, I want to say. What's that character called? The vampire movie, I think. Nosferatu. Spooky vampire, anyway. And this worm thing, which looks horrible. I watched a horror movie. It was kind of like a 1980s or 70s horror movie about worms in the desert in the USA. Creepy stuff, that thing. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. That's what that thing reminds me of. Anyway, the mirror time. This is interesting. If they do get funded in the 40 hours, this is going to be included. There's going to be a new deck and a villain mat. And it says the town has called the creatures of the dark to defend them against a greater evil. So I'm very curious to see what this is. We're not going to be finding that out yet, though. Anyway, here's the Bee-Man, looking pretty swish. Ritual component, hook. He has beam and nose things, and more horrible stuff for your characters to actually get into. In fact, these bosses, they move around the town. And if they go in your location, it's a kind of a face-off, and they are not nice at all. Art subject to change, it says. It's going to be coming out in December, so still some ways to go then, but where it wants to go, we don't know how it's going to grow. But if you look at the cards of the Bee-Man, they aren't as nice as the Sleeper here. These art's much nicer on this one. I like it. Fight for your life. Nowhere is safe. Fear makes it tasty. And a head. You find a head. What's going on? A 4-card body deck. Okay. They each have their own story and gameplay, these things. Now, there's been resting under the Slaughterville for decades. This is why it reminds me of that movie. I'm going to try and find what that movie is. Editor, if you can put something in here for that movie, it's very much evokes this, because you've got like these little bugs, and even though it might not look anything from the face of it. They're actually like intelligence. There's an intelligence with these bugs, and they're going to try and take over the land, and they're forcing people from their farms and stuff. Ooh, it's creepy. But this is what it kind of looks like. It's like these termites have gained an intelligence, and they are going to go up against humans. It's very, very cool that this has been made. So yeah, each villain gets their own deck, and each villain plays, and the gameplay changes each match, not just because of the villain, but of the locations you're putting down and things like this. Some different mechanics here. He was talking about noise tokens, and you're going to be sneaking around. Fear tokens to feed the sleeper, okay. And B tokens to track the B-man. So maybe this guy's not walking around, but you've actually got to locate where he is. I do like this, a set of 3 value, damage, and clue tokens. Like, the better you can get with any bonuses, you're going to be, the more survivable you're going to be in this game. That's basically it. Now, there's going to be, it says, is this similar to dailies? Weekly unlock. So it's not a daily, but a weekly. So we'll see what's going to be behind it. It says, these promos might introduce future expansions, hint at new villains, or give you a needed boost. I think give you a needed boost, that'd be interesting, especially if you're playing snowflakes that aren't used to random things killing them. I don't know. Be interesting. I think an interesting villain would be something that younger kids could play. Like, not as fearsome. Something more cuddly, I guess. I don't know. Something that's not going to give them nightmares. Yeah. I'm just throwing that out of my head like instantly. I've not thought about that at all. Anyway. Graphic novel is an add-on. Okay. Like, when you're playing this solo, you don't really want to put the horror music on. Slaughterville 2 Deluxe, so you can get the game here at $50. And that is the thing that introduces the cult into the cards and things like this, which has kind of been hinted. There's a cult in the village since Slaughterville 2, and so that's a good way of getting in on it. And you can get the director's cut, which is the original there, so you're looking at maybe $200 if you want the whole Slaughter 2 experience. The way Slaughterville works is that once you've played the game and you realise what it is, you kind of want to go out and buy it. But then the question is, how much more do you want of it? Because you can certainly get it. It just depends how much of a fan favourite you are with the horror genre and all that stuff. Because I don't know about you, but I've got like a few games that are fighting for the Halloween October series of board gaming, and I don't think I wouldn't play Slaughterville more than once, because I've got like Manchester Madness, and I've got I have to look at my shelf. I was going to look at my shelf. My brain, Monster Slaughter, and usually Mansions gets 2 playthroughs, but I've also got Detective City of Angels. There's like a horror bit in that, so lots of competition. But if I get a second playthrough of Slaughterville, that would be really good, especially if a group learns how to play it and then go against a harder villain. That'd be interesting. Anyway, if you absolutely love the horror genre of board games, you certainly need to have this in your collection, because it's so thematic, so much story comes out of it. You can be risking it, you can get lucky. Absolutely great. Now, shipping prices, $6 for the United States is glorious, isn't it? Now, 15 to Canada seems a little high. I wonder what Mexico is, and I'm probably going to go in for the $1 pledge just to get to see it, because it is going to be a small box of villains, but Do you know what? I'm really enamored by the worm villain. Out of all the villains, the worm one. I don't know. I really want to play that worm one. Because I think if you watch that worm movie in Halloween, and then you can play this game again, it'd be so fantastic. It fits the theme perfectly. So yeah, custom die, got these mini stretch goals. Graphic novel though. Hopefully they do an update on the graphic novel just to give us a few hints of what the pages are going to be like. These custom dice are going to be fantastic anyway. And a new location. There's already so many locations in Slaughterville 1 and 2. So I don't really know what this could be. Maybe it says you can vote on it. Maybe a radio tower that you got to go inside and go up to the... They're usually big, or a hydroelectric dam. Something like that. I don't know. That's been closed down. I don't know. I tell you, the developers got the knowledge of horror. I see what they've got to vote. But that looks interesting that that's going to be coming. Everyone chooses a single character. Don't worry, you're probably going to die and you'll come back again as a different character. Woohoo! Welcome to Slaughterville. Locations are kind of randomized. Sometimes the villain needs a certain location. Each location has a full deck that you're plumbing through. The deck will kind of be balanced 50% good, 50% bad, and once you've mined a lot of bad from it, you'll end up going to that same location to mine out the good stuff, but you're definitely mining out of these places to get stronger. Yeah. And you can go to the same location and team up against anything horrible that comes out of it. But on this setup, there's a mall, mines, museum, ski lodge, sewers, and a school. Right. Lots of dice chucking though. There's a massive amount of dice chucking in the game though. That's how combat works, and your characters have certain abilities, and you'll be rolling to use their abilities against skill checks and things like this. It's like a light roleplay. Oh, look, there's my original video. It's on the main page. A diamond gem, it really is, peeps. It's something you need on your chest. It's like a super indie game, Kickstarter only kind of thing. This game probably wouldn't hit retail as it's super niche, but I don't know. I don't know why no one's picked this up. I guess the horror genre is niche, just like it is in cinema. Yeah, it certainly is a game of fun. Horror, amazing stories, you know. It's hugely thematic. The pawns! The pawns! Minis? Can we get minis for the characters? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? In fact, my only complaint about the game is that the original game came with stretch goals that were kind of whale pledges, where you'd pledge, like, I don't know, let's say $100, and you put your character art in the game, and it was just like a photograph, and it really didn't like them at all. So the non-backer characters, it'd be nice if they had minis. Or you've probably got minis from other games like Manchester Madness. You can bring a mini over to represent stuff. But some of the characters are actually funny. Like, you could randomly get the child, which is just not good at anything, and he's going to die, essentially. So all that good stuff. Right, so you got the worm. Sounds fantastic. The Nosferatu looks creepy as heck. The Bee-Man, like to know more. So I think they could do more updates, introducing these villains a little bit more, and how their mechanics work. That would be... Oops. Why is that jumping around? There we go. I wish they do update this and all that good stuff. Will it get funded in the first 48 hours? I think so. I mean, backers are coming back from the other Kickstarter, and they'll... like I say, it's a bit of a shoo-in that you're going to be getting these villains, and potentially this fourth villain probably stretch goal a 5th villain, so maybe the value is going to get bigger and bigger. It'll probably be worth coming back doing a final thoughts on it if there's 2 more villains. Depends how those stretch goals go. But if you've got Slaughterville, this is going to be something you're definitely interested in. I highly recommend it for that. If you've not got Slaughterville, but you like horror games, this is something you definitely want to get, and you've got a chance here to pick up the original Slaughterville or Slaughterville 2. If you can only afford Slaughterville 2, it is standalone. They all mix together. So, but if you've got an itch for the full collection, you can definitely go for the Slaughterville 1. It's kind of a name, the naming scheme's off. You've got Slaughterville 1 original with all the Kickstarter unlocked stuff. Slaughterville 2 standalone, more villains and locations and characters. And then Slaughterville 3 villain expansion. So, yeah, interesting naming scheme, but that's what we've got to work with. The villain-only expansion. Do we recommend it? Absolutely, peeps! I'm really excited that this is coming out. I think my only disappointment is it's not coming for October, and I'll have to wait for 2023. Oh dear. Well, that's a first world problem, isn't it? And all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you've played Slaughterville. Let me know how you thought of it, because I'm sure you've got a tale to tell. And yeah, just reminding myself about how good this game is. I might schedule it on my gaming group, because there's been quite a lot of horror movies coming out of late, and I think a horror night might suffice. And yeah, bring out the old Slaughterville. And yeah, because it almost feels party-like, because you're not kind of, you know, because you potentially could die quickly and things like this. But yeah, and when you win it, it's like an incredible feeling, because you're going up against just the strongest villain. They certainly don't feel easy, terrifyingly hard. And when you do beat them, it's like, feels like luck was on your side a little bit, but you know, 50% luck, 50% strategy, question mark, but it definitely feels fantastic. And I think when you get completely crushed by the villain, you kind of feel like it was fated that way, you know. We let the villain get too strong, or we went, you know, we did things wrong or something, and that makes you want to come back, or you want to come back for another villain. Anyway, Slaughterville 3, absolutely looking fantastic. More villains the merrier, and all that good stuff. So yeah, nice to give Slaughterville some more presence online, and I think more people need more attention with this game. It's like a real true indie project. So yeah, please share the video to your friends, and think about liking the video, give more exposure on YouTube. So that is Slaughterville, and yeah, one of the gems of Kickstarter that probably won't get a lot of attention, sadly, but as we like to pick out the gems here on Kickstarter Radio 102.4, that's what we're good for. Please think about subscribing on the channel and all that good stuff. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and try and stay safe.